y'all, it's Shantavia
and Ashley,
and
this is Obedience Podcast.
So it is the second Monday of the month, and so that means that it is our fellowship time. And it is time for our roundtable talk discussion number 2. So if you guys didn't see our roundtable discussion from last month, be sure to click that card up there at the top of the screen to watch that one and then come back to this one. We have different questions this time and we have different guests this time. So Ashley, would you like to introduce our guest?
Absolutely. Well, over here to my left right here, we have my sister, Leah. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, you guys, I'm Leah. I go by Leah Elizabeth, which is actually my name. But you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Leah Elizabeth's Lifestyle on YouTube.
That's right. And we also have Miss Carla by the pound, and she got kicked by the pound.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Carla the Pound with Cakes by the Pound, where it is homemade with love and in every bite is joy. Thank you guys for having me. If you want to check me out, you can visit my website at www.cakesbythepound18.com.
Well, y'all heard she got cakes by the pound, so y'all hook her up. And then also to keep that balance in your life, you can subscribe to Leah and she can show you how to keep a healthy lifestyle.
You gotta have a cheat day sometimes.
Right.
That's right.
So you have a good mix.
I agree.
Yes, cake makes everything better.
That's right.
Come on. I can't think of an event without cake. So hello.
Right.
So thank you guys for joining us on today during our fellowship time, aka our roundtable discussion.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are ready to answer these questions.
I'm ready to jump into it.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it.
Okay.
So just a little icebreaker question.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you have your own show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your own talk show. And who is your first guest on the show?
Do they have to be living?
No.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
Well, I'll start with my answer. Mine is kind of, don't judge me, but I would say I would want to have like the leader of KKK or like white supremacy, just to kind of get into their heads and kind of like, what's your reasoning behind all of this? It wouldn't be like me trying to debate them or anything. I just want to get inside your head and what makes you feel superior or, being a leader of this organization.
So what would be your
what would
be your first interview question?
Like why? I don't know. Ooh, child. Like,
That is a good person though, because
like,
I would tune in.
Yeah. I would just like, what's your reasoning behind, or like, why do you fight so much for either white supremacy, or why do you feel like, what's the reason behind your organization?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Man, your answer is so woke. What do you really think?
So I would have Kanye West.
Okay.
So I want to know what makes you think that you could be the leader of the free world, and if you are elected, tell me how would you govern? Like you're a rapper, like why? That was just really when the news broke. I had to scratch my head. Is what I just did. I'm like. But I get it. Now they're saying anybody can run for president, right? But we need somebody better than Kanye.
Yeah.
The whole Kardashian clan will be in the White House.
The White House will be a reality TV show.
Yep.
Keeping up with the White House.
Yeah. We would turn it to, you think we're a joke now? We would really be a joke.
Exactly.
See, my thing, like, growing up, definitely, like, in my head, like the president always was very educated, very, knew politics backwards and forward, or like in the military. Now it's like literally anybody can be president. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so weird how it has transitioned.
With no credentials, no credibility.
Like
the standards are just so low. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm gonna go for 2024. Would y'all vote for me?
No. Sure.
No. No, child.
Throw your hat in the ring. It can't get no worse.
What you say?
That's a good guess, and that would bring in a lot of ratings. So I think Kanye West is good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lee, I'm gonna put it on you.
I don't know either. I can't think of nobody.
I mean, nobody? I can't think of somebody, but it's like
nobody.
Oh gosh.
I guess Ashley. I don't know. Like I just can't think of anybody who I want to interview. Like nothing comes to mind.
The one person I'm thinking of, like, it's not like this woke answer. I don't even know if it would bring a lot of views to my talk show, but I probably would want to like interview probably Candy Burris. I talked about her in our Father's Day special. I just really like how she does business, and I would be interested to pick her brain and learn about everything that she knows, and maybe make a friendship, get into some of her circles. Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I wish it was more woke.
Woke, but that's something to think about, and I think that if that's something you really want to do, you probably could do that now.
I probably could, because
she does have a reality show, right, which puts her in the public light. So hey, one trip to Atlanta. What is it? OG restaurant?
Yeah,
Old Lady Gang? OLG? Yeah, OLG.
We gotta wait till this corona over, because they done went back to phase 1 in Atlanta.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, the maid tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, it.
Mm-hmm. Keisha
Lance Bottoms. Did I say it right? Is it Keisha Bottoms?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I do have somebody I was thinking about interviewing. I'm thinking about it's a man, he's named Anthony O'Neill. He talks about money, and I'm into wealth, like building my wealth, being debt free. So I would like to interview him. He's young, he's a millennial, so y'all check him out. He's on YouTube, Anthony O'Neill. He works with Dave Ramsey, so I would want to interview him. I'm all about the money.
And that's informative. We need to definitely shift to wealth building. I think we've been more about acquiring things when people live in lack and they have more than their parents or their grandparents had. They tend to gravitate towards things rather than understanding, how do I hold on to the money so that I can build wealth for generations to come?
That's it.
Like they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Generational wealth is key to me. So yeah, that's what I'm working towards.
I really wish it's something that they would teach us, like middle school, high school.
Yes, yeah.
It's something a lot of us just have to find out on our own. They don't even teach in college either. So,
because some of these courses, like in high school and especially college, like I'm taking this world lit class, and I'm like, well, how that's gonna help me in my future? So yeah,
it's not.
It's not.
It's just something that they put together.
Oh my head.
Yeah, it's just something they put together so they can say they got this course bundle, and you pay $5,000 a course, and they just got money really, because you never use it ever.
Yep. Never.
They need to try to get as much money as possible, so they're gonna make you go the whole 2 years of wasted classes.
Yep. I agree.
All right, Ashley, I think that was a good little nice icebreaker question. So thank you for that one. It got us thinking.
It sure did.
All right, so now to jump into number 2. So in a relationship, do you want to be wanted or needed?
I say both. I say both because I mean, we as humans, we naturally want to feel wanted, and we need each other. I believe God made us to, for relationships, whether there's friendship, whether there's an intimate relationship. So I believe both. Man.
So, I want to be wanted, and let me tell you why. About 4 years ago, I went through a divorce, and I decided to see a psychiatrist, just to kind of, help me through that time. Mental health is important, and I'm not ashamed or afraid of psychiatrists. And having that conversation with him, and I was talking about my life, and I was talking about my marriage, and he was like, the next relationship you enter, you want it to be a relationship where you're wanted and not needed. He said, because when you are needed, your behavior is different. So when you need somebody, right? When you're needed, either you're clinging to them. Once that need is over, what happens? So somebody needs you, like, y'all in this relationship, and I just need them so much. They've helped me through this. They've helped me through that. Well, when they decide that, they're growing, or they get where they want to be, or what have you, and it was not a situation where they actually wanted you, you were just there to fill this need, then what happens? So I would much rather be wanted. We all have a need for companionship, for people to be, in our presence. I think that never changes. But when you talk about a relationship or being married to someone, you want that person to want you to be in their life rather than need you, because the dynamics of it, in my opinion, could be a little different. It could be taxing. It could be burdenship. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I really need you. Please don't leave me. No. I gotta go. Stop working out, Then you could come into some stalkerish stuff. I ain't got time for that.
Okay, that's right.
That's my opinion. But it was eye-opening for me, because I had went through that period where I'm a great person and I'm always there for people, but you have to realize you have to be there for yourself first. And so definitely want it. Probably more answer to the question than y'all wanted, but yeah.
I enjoyed it. I never even thought about it like that, but that is so true. Because my answer is I want to be wanted, because I just feel like that will be more genuine. But the way you brought it up is very true, because when that person doesn't need you anymore, then they don't have a need for you, and they'll quickly get rid of you. But if they want you, you're not fulfilling anything for them. They have their own fulfillment in their lives.
Correct. You're value added. You're not somebody that they have to have for their existence. So when they no longer need you for their existence, oh, it's cool, kick rocks, or things start to change. But when they want you, that means, hey, you're an integral part of my life, but I got my own over here, I got my own self-worth, and I don't need you to make me feel complete. You're just an addition to, you're complementary to who I am.
Right. I agree. I would rather feel wanted, and I get what you're saying. We still need companionship in our lives, but I don't know. Like, needed sounds like more of a burden. Like it just sounds like too dependent upon me and my existence. I want you to still have your dependency, your independency. And you can't do nothing without me. But I would want to feel, like you said, in addition to a strong desire to have me in your life. You know what I'm saying? That was good.
I like that question.
Mm-hmm. That
I
was
did
good.
too.
Who push? Oh, that was a push.
So now this one I heard from Facebook, and I just want to hear y'all opinion on it. So if your husband comes in at 3 a.m. And says he's hungry, but his stomach is growling, and you have to get ready for work in a little bit, and he wakes you up. He wakes you up. Are you getting up and cooking for him? Are you cooking him a 5-star meal?
Heck no. I'm sorry, but no. Where you been? Baby, where you been?
See, that's the question.
No.
It's a question for the question.
If you coming in at 3 a.m. because you done been at work and you hungry, that's one thing. If you coming in at 3 a.m. because you done been out with your friends doing whatever it is y'all do, no, you get no food. I'm gonna need you to go in there and figure it out, baby. It's some sandwich meat in there, some mayonnaise. I'm gonna need you to work that out. But now if you've been to work and you come home and you say, babe, I'm really hungry. Can you fix me something to eat? And you make a request, then I might get up. But see, the way my husband set up, he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna ask me that. Yeah. He's gonna be like, I'll go in there and fix me something. And he ain't coming in at 3 a.m. in the morning, but did he try it? He ain't gonna wake me up out my sleep to fixing no food. Right. Praise the Lord and thank you.
He's a smart man. He got wisdom.
I feel like this go back to the first question. Well, the question before last. That man needs you to fix him food. He is grown. He can make his own food. Exactly. And if you were working, then I know your work schedule, so whatever I made for dinner, I'll just put you a plate up and put it in the refrigerator. But don't wake me up, because just like if I was at home, I will let you sleep throughout the day. I got work in 2 hours. Go figure something out.
Yeah.
I agree. If I know your schedule, I'm put aside a breakfast casserole, and you to pick to munch on through the week. But I'm not gonna get up. No.
That is
that meal would not.
I probably won't do that. I'll probably it's some lunch meat in there. You just work that on that. If we don't have no leftovers, just work that on that.
No, don't wake me up to do something you can do on your own. I can see if it's something you couldn't do. And especially, like you said, what were you doing at 3 o'clock if it wasn't working?
But there are some men who have been conditioned to expect that. And I was at a marriage conference. Actually, the day that my husband proposed to me, I was at the marriage conference. And the lady stood up. They had been married for some years. And she stood up and said, if my husband come home and want me to fix him a 5-course meal, I get up and fix it. And if my husband wants some, I roll over and give it to him. So there are some men who are conditioned to be treated in that way. And you just gotta, know who you married. And then, y'all gotta talk about, that, is that something, that's something that's a deal breaker. Because if you talking about some cook a full course meal at 3 a.m. in the morning, I might be looking at you like, nah, I can't. I can't.
That's something we're gonna have to uncondition, because that's not under my roof.
My grandma she says, start out how you gonna hold out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Then I won't start out
with no. Whatever you ask for, I'm gonna give you. That's not starting off at all. That's not happening.
No shouting.
All right, let's get to the next one. Let me not skip one. Okay. So, can a relationship go back to normal after someone has cheated?
I don't think it can go back to normal, because I think the person that got cheated on will always have that lack of trust in the back of They're mine. So I don't think it can go back to like normal.
And honestly, I don't think it should go back to being normal because
if that person decides to stay.
Yeah. And then we don't know what made that person cheat. So clearly it's something we need to talk about. Mm-hmm. You know, there's different reasons for why people cheat, and we won't get into that. But if, say for instance, there's a lack from the other, my husband or something, we need to talk about that. Right. What's going on? And it's gonna have to be some if we get to the point of accepting each other back, it's gonna have to be some healing and deliverance service, because
some counseling,
some prayer and fasting, because I just don't, normalcy, no, it won't go back to being normal.
Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely will be a new normal.
New normal.
I think that in order for it to work, both parties got to want it and not bring up the transgression every chance that they get. And so because we're human, that's really hard to do. So if, like you said, if they don't have the counseling in place and the willingness to do it, it's probably not going to work, because being human, we always going to have that thought of what you did in the back of our heads, and then the person who cheated, you have to move differently. Mm-hmm. If before you stayed out to 12, 1 o'clock at night with no calls or nothing to your spouse, you can't do that anymore, because that's going to automatically set up a red flag for the other spouse to be like, okay, what is he or she doing? So I think it can happen. I mean, I've talked to a couple who, decided to stay together after infidelity. And you never know what goes on behind closed doors with anybody. You just see the outward. And so they're working through it for whatever the outside world can see, but we don't know what's actually going on behind closed doors. And, marriage is good. And so if you are married, then I commend you trying to work on that relationship. Mm-hmm. If you're not married, I don't know. Because it's a difference. It's a difference between just dating somebody and being married. Mm-hmm. But I know that's not the show, so we're going to take it.
Don't talk on
it is a difference. And so when you're married, you have to honor that vow, that covenant that you made with God. And so that's why it's important to, seek counseling and have spiritual wisdom to work through those things. And adultery is one of the things that you can get a divorce for in the eyes of God. So you if you want that out, you got it. But if you want to try to salvage your marriage, then you go through those steps in that process to salvage it.
All right. So I agree. I don't think it can go back to normal, but I think that it will either completely ruin your relationship or make your relationship stronger. Because I believe, like, if you can get over the infidelity, so that means that you guys have had like deep conversations, you've gone to therapy, you've tried to work out the issues that may have started you to cheat. And you, like, I don't know, it's like this closeness knowing that y'all got over this. It's like, we went through this, but we made it. So I feel like you'll be stronger. I know everybody, well, I won't say everybody, but most couples that I know who have gone through something like that and they're still together, I feel like they're stronger. If both partners get over that trust part, you can't hold on to it. Like, if you're holding on to it, that's like making your relationship worse. But if you can truly let it go, forgive, and grow, I feel like it can make your relationship better.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. They say what don't kill you make you stronger. So hey, you're still standing. And all is not lost. I think so many times we allow society to dictate what we do in our relationships. Mm-hmm. And when you're in a relationship or a marriage, It's between you and that person, and you
That's
make
right.
it whatever you desire it to be. Whatever rules y'all got, that's why they out here talking about these entanglements. Whatever rules y'all got, that's on you all. You
That's
know, if y'all free to be entangled and do what you do, I'm not
Oh,
here.
she's talking about jail. Yeah, you're right.
But we idolize people so much in their relationship, and that puts so much pressure, you know, because I can remember when me and my husband first started dating, and we didn't want to go public, and then we went public Valentine's Day, and then about a week after we went public, I had public remorse. I said, I don't know if I should have did this. You know, I don't know if I should have went public with it, because it was extra added pressure being public. And then because we're both public, you know, we're both public people. I'm doing the cakes, he's the brand man, right? So it's like, what did I do? But we worked through it and managed it. But I did have some remorse in being public, because the public puts so much pressure on you when you have your relationship is public.
That's so true. I guess that's why all my relationships never have been public at all.
Too much pressure.
I just move in silence. But I mean, that's true. You do have to one day come out and show everybody what's going on eventually. But like, it's so much pressure, and you don't want to ruin what you have. Because I know I've been in experiences where I've been totally fine and happy and content. And then, you know, you may see one of your friends get flowers, and you're like, he never give me flowers. And then that's a whole thing. It makes you devalue something that you had so much value in just based off other people's opinions.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, last question. We always like the last question to be a personal question outside of relationships or anything fun. So, this is personal, guys. So, what do you think is holding you back from being the person that you want to be?
Who on first?
I guess you.
I think for me, but most definitely have to be time. Because for me, I want to become a registered dietitian, and I can't become one without getting licensed. So I have to go through a process in order to become a registered dietitian. So I think for me, it's God's timing. Timing. I don't want to say that it's holding me back, but I mean, that's the only thing because holding me back sounds like a negative thing, but that's really the only thing that, that's holding me back, because I'm naturally an eager person. Like, if it's something that God has told me to do, I'll automatically go do it. But some things we have to wait on God's timing for it to happen. So timing for me.
In my opinion, I feel like you're doing it. Like, you started the YouTube channel, you're encouraging people to eat right. So I feel like you're starting at least one part of it.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's the best way encouragement from your sisters, not just your sister, but your sisters come from to help you get to that next level, right? For me, I think I hold myself back. I think that there are times when I allow what's either not going right or someone else's stuff to get in my way, and it's like, well, if you had just went ahead and did this, you'll be at this point rather than being still at this point. And so it's just a matter of remembering who I am and what my purpose is, And so I do, yeah. I have those. It's like a up and down thing with me personally. And I'm like, you know what? God has just been too good to me for me not to, try to hone in and be consistent. The business has been great. My kids are great. I'm newly married, so it's like, what else could, a girl want for. But at the end of the day, I still have desires, wants, and needs that are my own personal, right? So everybody around me, if I make sure they're okay, but I never make sure I'm okay, then I'm not being fulfilled. And so that's where I say I'm, kind of letting myself down, because I make sure everybody else is okay and things they're taken care of, and, they're good. And then I'm like, well, I'll get to that for me, or it's okay that didn't happen for me because my kids are happy or my husband is happy. And so when I seen that question, I was like, okay, because it was like, it's just like a something, glaring at you to say, hey, it's just really time for you to make sure that you stay on a even spectrum, not these highs and lows, but an even spectrum, so that you can get done what you need to accomplish. It's almost like you can't see somebody in need and not do, but sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to let people figure it out on their own, figure it out for themselves, because they will drain you. And then you'll be looking around and you are still at square one, or maybe it's cost you, but they're going on and they happy with their life and everything is great. But, you're looking at the damage that they've left as they've moved on, right? Okay.
I mean, I pretty much agree with Leah. Like, I have desires and, things I do want to do. I think that in each area, I'm making steps in each one of those. So I want to say just like God's timing, because the preparation series that we're currently in, like that hit home for me, and that in this time I know that God is preparing me for those things. So I just want to say God's timing. And then, in this time I'm overcoming my fear. So fear is always going to be there, but you just have to continue to conquer those things of what is making me feel fearful. So time.
Okay. I'll end this out. When I first saw the question, you automatically think of like what you want that hasn't happened. So you're like, well, I need a husband so I can have children, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just like, no, let me try to think of, my purpose. Because it may not be my purpose to have children. Therefore, I'll really never be happy if I just depend on that. So, okay, God put you on this earth for a reason. So, what's holding you back from your purpose? And I think mainly right now, what's holding me back is just trying to clean up the mistakes I made from not being obedient, or doing what I wanted to do. Like Ashley mentioned, going outside of the will of God. So just cleaning up those mistakes so I'll be in a better position for when, like you guys said, God's timing, like he's holding certain things back from me until I can clean up those things. So when he's ready to place it in my life, I'll be completely ready for it. So just trying to work through cleaning up mistakes and growing myself, getting some, what's the word? Discipline about myself. So yeah, that's what I would say.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. Come on, Sherry on top.
The scripture says if you're faithful over a few, he'll make you ruler over many. And so a lot of times you're exactly right. We're not being good stewards over what we already have. And then we're praying and asking God for more. We're praying and asking God, move on our behalf in this way. And so if we stop and take inventory, like you said, and, they're not mistakes. They're just instances in your road to success that just need to be mitigated. At the end of the day, we go through life and we have experiences. Some teach us and, some brings us joy. But I really hope and pray that we can learn to stop saying that we made a mistake because anything that we go through is there to build us up. You know, because when you think about it, if you think about some of the things that you've experienced, had you not experienced it, then you may not have met a particular person, or you may not have been able to transition into something else, or you may not have known that, okay, that's not something I want, or that's not something I like, you know. So it helps us to it builds us, right? It helps makes us stronger. We not necessarily want to go through it. No, do we want everything to be just like we want it? Yes. But I'm gonna tell y'all, one of these days I will write a book, because my life has not been a prayer. But I'm just thankful that I'm at a point to where I can forgive myself and stop replaying that record in my head of the things that I've done or have had happen to me over my life, because that stifles our growth as well. So, you know, let's just give us Sarah's permission to forgive ourselves and know that he, in his time, and like y'all said, will do what it is that you know, give us our heart's desires. Because each and every one of us, we're his children. And he's our father, and he's going to take good care of us.
Yes, he is. Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
No mistakes.
Right. Well, the doors of the church is open, whether it be morning or night. Thank you so much, Miss Carla, for your wisdom. I appreciate it.
You guys are welcome.
So this wraps up our second roundtable discussion. We thank you guys for tuning in with us. We hope that it helped you guys. And as always, please do leave your comments. What are your answers to the question? We want to know. So comment down below, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to us, okay? So thank you guys. Check out both of these ladies' platforms. They're doing some amazing things. We're getting cakes by the pound, and we're getting healthy lifestyle.
Best of both worlds.
Yes, the best of both worlds. So don't forget to tune into these ladies' platforms. We'll leave their information below in the comments. And as always with Obedience Podcast, be obedient.
We'll see you guys next time.